Yes. So we're about to go live now.
Mhm.
Let's see here. All righty. Let me see here. Yes, y'all. Okay. Yeah. We back in effect. Um, my man X is here. X, what's up? These are the charges, bro. Since you my brother, since you have a little bit of experience with this, with the prison system, with reading court documents, charges, and stuff like that, real time experience. Let me know what you think of these charges. And after you kind of go through what these charges generally mean, then I'm going to show you what happened yesterday when they were supposed to plead. Then we're going to talk about that.
All right, bet. Um, Looking at these charges, you know, these sex offender charges,
Mm-hmm.
molestation of a child 12 to 16, 2 counts of that, misconduct with a child under the age of 16, uh, contributing to the delinquency of a minor, engaging in child felony aggravated sex 4 to 14, sexual battery. The victim was between 12 and 17. All those some serious sex offender charges. And in the state or the Federal Bureau of Prison, these are the type of charges that if you showed somebody your paperwork, they wouldn't even show this paperwork.
What you talking about? When they go into the pen?
Yeah, when you come into the Federal Bureau of Prisons, at least the 4 institutions I went to, you got to show your paperwork. Every car is responsible for the people from where they from. So if you from DC, then you got to talk to the DC shot caller. You come on the yard, you're going to check your paperwork. Or you're going to send somebody over, check your paperwork. So you got to produce it. If you don't produce it, you got to get off the yard. You got to go check in. You got to go tell the police you're not safe. So, wherever you from, it's the car responsibility to make sure there's no rats on the compound and no child molesters for sure. They have the lowest social scale in the prison system. And that's why the Federal Bureau of Prisons started building prisons that only house sex offenders because the violence that's done to them is ridiculous. So these charges right here, he couldn't even show this paperwork to nobody. He would just check in. He would already know when they say, I need to see your paperwork, that or you check in, they're gonna go check in. See,
Mm-hmm.
child molesters and stuff, when they go to a yard that's like that, that's not a sex offender yard or none of that stuff like that, they do all their time on solitary confinement, on protective custody. They call it in the feds, they call it a special housing unit. And they just check in. They tell the police, I fear for my life. I can't be on the yard. And they lock them up and put them in the special housing unit, you know. And then, like I said, the feds start gravitating towards having individual prisons for sex offenders in about, it was like 2007. They turned Petersburg Low into a sex offender compound. They turned Butner Low into a sex offender compound. So everybody there is a sex offender.
Mm-hmm. But this is
Um,
state, right?
it appears to be state from what I see, and that's even worse because in the state they don't protect them. They don't have the money the feds have to do the things the feds have to do. So when I was in the Maryland system,
Mm-hmm.
uh, it was just on whoever the offender was not to let nobody find out what they in there for.
Mm-hmm.
But now that, it's the information age and inmates have smartphones and stuff, they can just Google a person or look on LexisNexis or one of those case law websites. And if they filed any motion for reduction of sentence or appeal or anything like that, that's right out there. It's easy to find,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
So if these cases that I'm looking at, they look like state cases because in the feds, it's USC 18, federal law. USC 18 is the crimes and punishment section of the
Mm-hmm.
United States Code. And none of these say that. So these are definitely state charges, right?
Yeah. Can you see that right there? That says state, right?
Yeah, that's Miami-Dade. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And I think it's right here. It says, yeah, state case number. There it is. Can you see
Mm-hmm.
that? Is that big enough? All right.
Oh
I just
yeah, I
want,
see it. You highlighted it. Mm-hmm.
yeah. Okay. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. So let me go back to this one
I
real
just
quick.
want to add one thing.
Nah, go for it. We good. You good, man.
The
Go ahead.
the the prison system in the state of Florida, right, is a vicious place. It is vicious, you know. Um, very violent, very racially divided. Anybody got these type of charges in a violent place like Florida, Texas, uh, they done. Like the torture is just unimaginable. Uh, they get beat all the time. If they let them stay on the yard, sometimes they just kill them. Just go and kill them, beat them to death. They just beat them and keep beating them, but usually they run. They try to hide. They don't. They know they can't go out in general population with them type of charges.
Mm-hmm.
It's deadly. I've seen child molesters, sex offenders, and stuff like that. And this was before the information age, because I got out in 2013. But
How
like
many years was you in prison?
a total of 25. 25. So I've been to like 14 different institutions, state and federal. I went to the feds twice, you know. So I've been in the state of Maryland, Maryland Penitentiary, Eastern Correctional Institution, Brockbridge. I went to the feds twice, been in the federal penitentiary, Allenwood, Pennsylvania. I was in Lorton Reformatory, in Lorton, Virginia, which used to be the DC, the DC Correctional Institution, Department of Corrections, when it was in Virginia before they closed it. I think Lorton is the only like prison complex that they ever just closed, right? They closed Lorton because it was so off the chain, right? You got COs walking around pregnant by inmates. Yeah, it was like people was giving the guards crack so they can have sex in the visiting room. It was off the chain.
Mm.
And then Virginia said they don't want Lorton. They don't want no DC inmates in Lorton because we was overcrowding the court.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you stab somebody in Lorton, you got to go to court in Fairfax County. Fairfax County couldn't handle the amount of cases. that was coming through their court system. It bogged the court system down. So that's why Virginia stopped taking money from the federal government to house, offenders from DC. And they sent us to private prisons, Walla Walla, Washington, which is Washington State. They sent us to Wackenhut in Tennessee, and there was another Wackenhut. I don't recall right this instant, but they started sending us to private prisons. And then after that, they sent us to Red Onion in Virginia, deeper down in Virginia, like in the middle part of Virginia. Red Onion, maximum security prison down there. That's like the highest level prison.
Mm-hmm.
It's even tighter than Greenville, which is the Virginia penitentiary, where they sent the DC sniper, Malvo, and they went to Greenville. That's where they execute people and stuff like that. But Red Onion was more like a disciplinary prison, very tight, very close. Red Onion and Sussex. Those were the two places they used to send a lot of DC inmates, right?
What's the difference? Like, so let's say you a DC dude, but you get arrested in Florida State. What happens?
Well, first of all, you're outnumbered. And like in any prison situation, it just, what is the merit of the man? If you a stand-up guy, you can go anywhere. If you didn't tell on nobody, you ain't got no skin beef. Like, if you was like me, a drug dealer or a robber or whatever, it's like, okay, you drug dealer, robber, right? And it really all just depends on how you carry yourself. If you a man, you carry yourself on man time, man recognize man.
Mm-hmm.
But you got suspect charges or anything like that, then you're gonna get violated. It's just as plain as the sun coming up in the east.
Like child assault charges.
You got a child charge in prison. It's like you might as well just kill yourself because the suffering is going to be legendary. I mean, I've seen child molesters being forced to eat feces out the toilet. I've seen them extorted, and I've seen them get sexually assaulted with mops. I've seen them. I mean, it's just like anything. Spit in your face. That's only if they don't want to just go ahead and kill you. Because a lot of times, like, the people that got a whole bunch of time, like 60 years, 70 years, 2 life sentences, life plus 90 or whatever, they'll just kill you because they can't do any more time. They're not, if they kill you, they still ain't going home. Like, they wasn't going home anyway. And usually those are the ones that,
You still there, X? Oh, okay. Hold on. We're gonna have to wait for EXO to log back in. Let me see here. Huh? Yo, what's up, Donnie? Yeah. I'm just talking to my homie X. Yeah, he got some experience in the pen, so I wanted him to look at this paperwork and then also look at what happened yesterday in real time to give his opinion on what would happen to an individual that could find himself in this type of situation. What's up, X? You back?
I'm back. I must
All right.
have, accidentally hit the wrong button, but I'm back.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good, man. Yo, so hold on. Now, where was we
Allergies.
at? Oh, you got
I was
allergies.
just I was just outlining that prison has its own social scale, and sex offenders, even rapists, they almost go in the same category.
Okay.
But a sex offender, just to be blunt, their ass ain't worth a snack cake. You know, they will. You know, people
But
that's
what you mean by that? What
frustrated,
do you mean a snack cake? What do you mean?
meaning, you know, they got little Debbie cakes and stuff they sell on commissary stuff. You know, but a sex offender, I mean, like 9 times out of 10, when an inmate find out that you's a sex offender, man, they gonna do something to you, bro. Like, they don't care how big you are, how small you are, if you black, if you white, if you Mexican, if you whatever. When they find out that you sexually assaulted a child, they gonna do something to you, bro. Like immediately, like as soon as they find out, they're gonna spread the word. Well, some of the old school OGs, they might not even say nothing. They just might kill you. They might put a lock on a belt, like a padlock for our lockers. And then we got belts for our pants. So you just thread the belt through the lock and wrap it around your hand. And then you got a weapon. They will beat a child molester to death. If you already doing 100 years, you can't see your kids. What's catching a life sentence for a child molester? Nothing. They have zero respect in the prison system. They do most of their time on protective custody. And sometimes they go on PC and they stay on there for 3, 4, 5 years, like trying to wait for the hype to go down. And then they try to sneak out on the compound. Like nobody's gonna know. And then somebody find out and they execute them. Either they torture them and then execute them, or they just execute them off the top.
All right,
One of the two, right?
let's say the person got a little bit of money.
Oh, they getting extorted. They're gonna beat them up all the time, make them get their people to send the money, take the money until they get tired of doing it. It's the worst life you could ever have. Anytime I be seeing people, like I follow people on TikTok and stuff, and they expose sex offenders and stuff like that. It's the worst life ever, bro. You better off being an informant, like Alpo, Rayful, and all them. You better off being an informant. Usually, if a dude hot, everybody in the compound, you know, if they ain't kick him out the car, if their car didn't check them, like when you're in high security institutions, you're going to show that paperwork. But when you start getting into some mediums and lows, they not as vigilant about checking paperwork. Mm-hmm. So you could have a dude that's hot, he done told on his whole crew. I seen one dude told on his own mother. I saw the paperwork. It was like, I told her to stop doing that. He just told on his mother on a drug case, you know. But
oh, he dropped out again. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Yo. Okay. Can you get back on?
What, it cut me off?
Yeah, it cut you off, man.
Your audio is not working. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, he's coming back on. He didn't even know he was off. So, yeah. Yeah, X is a good dude, solid dude. You know, I don't like to tell people stories or anything like that. I like people when they can speak for themselves. So I don't want to share his own story, but yeah. But here we go. He back. Let me see here.
No real secret, you know.
All right, you back, bro. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you on now. Now you back on.
Okay, well, ain't no secret. I got background information. I went to prison when I was young, 17 years old. Um, my first case, I got 20 years in the state of Maryland, two 10-year sentences running wild, uh, distribution of crack cocaine, you know, possession with intent to distribute crack cocaine, possession of firearms, all that stuff back in the 80s, 87, whatever. And when I got out, I got back in the same lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? So I spent a lot of time in prison. And just to attest that to what we talking about, these charges and stuff, they would rather climb the White House fence than if somebody said, let me see your paperwork and you got these charges on you. But it's nothing to talk about, bro. You are going to suffer like, bro, eating
Let me.
shit out the toilet.
Okay,
Like
when did that
three
happen?
dudes shit in a toilet and then they make you eat it.
Yo, let me ask you something.
Bro.
What's the first situation in the pen where you ever saw a sexual offender enter it, whether it's jail, the penitentiary, whatever?
Okay, let me think about it. Frederick County Jail, Frederick, Maryland. The the sex offender that I was mentioning, I don't know if I had got it cut off, but he
Yeah,
was
you
on
did.
the he
You
was
was talking.
on the news, right? The local news that he was accused of sexually assaulting his girlfriend's child, a daughter, and that he gave her HIV, right? And they put him in S block where we was at, the felony block, right? I had felonies. I had 9 felonies and 4 misdemeanors. It was my first case. And they threw the blanket over his head and we just beat him until he stopped moving.
This was in the jail or in the.
This was at the Frederick County Adult Detention Center, 7300 Marcy's Choice Lane, Frederick, Maryland. To I forgot the zip code. 7300 Marcy's Choice Lane, Frederick County Adult Detention Center.
So
And
had this
he
person been convicted yet, or they
no,
just? Okay,
no, he was accused.
okay.
And then they put him in our block. And when we sitting here watching the news on television, and the dude is like in our block. Oh my God. We beat him so bad. That was the first time that I beat a sex offender. Everybody in the unit, it was probably like 16 of us in the unit, right? Or 20. It was like 20 of us in the unit. It was the same day that he came in there. It was like 45 minutes after he got in the unit. He was on the telephone. He had his head down. He wasn't looking. So Bama just came from the back, threw the blanket over his head, the whole blanket off the bunk. So it was a big blanket, threw it over his head. Everybody put the Stomp Johnson on, right? Till he stopped moving. I mean, the geeks, the nerds, the white supremacists, the dudes
What?
from the hood, everybody beat his ass until he
White
stopped.
supremacists and dudes from the hood.
It was a white supremacist, and his name was Chuck. And he used to run the poker table and all that and all that. I mean, he wasn't disrespectful because, even though we was in Frederick County, Maryland, which is predominantly white, but they know Negro go hard and all that. He wasn't. He was just trying to get his money off the poker table. But he was a white supremacist. There wasn't no question about it. Everybody in the block participated in beating this motherfucker. Like, he was trying to run. Motherfucker just grabbed his ankle. One dude just grabbed both his ankles and wrapped him up in his arm, man. He was wrapped up in a blanket. Dudes was just Pele, like Pele, the soccer star. They were kicking him in his head just until he stopped moving.
Damn.
When he stopped moving, we just pushed his body over there by the door, and everybody just went back to what they was doing. And the police came around. They was walking around. They looked and they seen a blanket with something wrapped up in it and blood. They opened the door, called the code. They drug him out there. And it's like, they really didn't say nothing. They didn't put us on lockdown. They didn't do anything. Because everybody was just playing chess and playing cards and going to the shower and like resume normal.
Damn.
Man, I'm talking about they was kicking him in his head like they was punting a football. They were, dropping elbows on it. They just beat him until he was lifeless. Like he was just lifeless, laying on the floor and shit. I was and it felt good. I was already frustrated. A lot of people was in there frustrated. But that's what happens to child molesters, I done seen them have to eat shit out the toilet bowl. I done seen them, like, they just don't get any respect. Like, their life is in danger in general population. Like,
They
period.
receive all the disrespect that's been built up, all the anger that's been built up in people.
If somebody know that you's a child molester in prison, your life is immediately in danger. That's the easiest way for me to put it. Your life is in danger.
Okay, but let's say, for example, you go to a place like Florida.
Your ass definitely grass in Florida.
Okay.
Florida prison system.
Dude, even if you're a DC dude or a New York dude.
If you's a child molester, it don't matter if you from goddamn Utah. I mean, anywhere. It don't matter. You can be from DC, Baltimore, Chicago, LA. You could be a Crip, a Blood, a GD, or whatever. If your ass in prison especially in prison, that you asked me one of the first time I saw it, that was in the county jail. That was in the county jail. He ain't even been convicted yet. They just heard and seen his picture on TV when what he was charged with. That's it. Now, if you go to prison, like you done been convicted and you going off to a prison, whether it's in the state, any state, Florida, Texas, wherever. If your ass come into general population, right? If you don't tell them people, I want to do all my time in the hole. And then when you're in the hole, they got people that got to clean the hole. You got COs that'll pop the door and let motherfuckers come in there and crush you. If you a child molester, they be like, oh, they just write the incident report like, I thought I had locked the door to cell 7. I think it malfunctioned or something like that. Inmate that was on the cleaning detail attacked other inmate. That's all. That's all. You don't get no respect from the inmates or the staff. It's like a death sentence. Like, if you're a child molester in prison, it's really like a death sentence. It's like, when are they going to kill you? It's like you suffer so much torture and you just don't know when you're going to die, when they're going to kill you. And those are big facts, bro.
What do you know about Florida? Have you heard anything about Florida? You know anything about Florida?
Florida prisons are terrible. The worst prison systems in the United States are Florida, Virginia, Texas, in Louisiana and Alabama. Those are the worst prison systems. In Louisiana, like at Angola, 60% of the population is serving a life sentence, bro. You could just do anything. They not going home. They gotta pick cotton all day. They are all frustrated. Like your life is nothing. They already doing life, bro. They got life without parole.
Now,
You
now,
step on somebody's shoe, you bump into somebody, you laughing and cutting up while they on the phone. Uh, anything. If anybody step to you in prison, they ready to die. But child molesters, they don't even fit in that category. That's just the respect they give to men. If you're a child molester in prison, you got to do your time in solitary confinement. And you still got to be scared because a staff member might leave the door open and let somebody slide on you. And that's real talk.
is your food
Child
safe
molester.
in solitary confinement? Is your food safe?
No, because the inmate got delivered to you. The staff don't do nothing. Inmate bring you food. They work in the kitchen. You know, your food is gonna have piss. It's gonna have shit in it. It might. You are fucked if you go to prison and they find out you're a child molester, unless you in a federal institution. It's for sex offenders.
Okay.
Outside of that, anywhere in the country, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, New York, DC, if you's a child molester,
But this is a state. This is a state case. It's not a
it's
federal
in
case.
Florida, right?
It's in Florida.
It's one of the worst prison systems in the country. And
Hey,
he
bro.
black too?
Hmm.
Oh, they super racist. The police in a gang, they already had federal indictment on Klansmen working in Florida prisons.
X.
They beat up black people, had to send them to the hospital, and then if a nurse or something say, "Y'all, why did y'all do this?" They beat her up too.
So
Like,
so so
like
let's say, damn, really? God
I
damn.
seen I seen it happen in Maryland. I ain't see it in Florida, but I know guys that was in Florida, the Bureau, Division of Corrections. Yep,
Hey, yo,
I
X.
met them in the feds.
Can you see the screen? You got a question from Donnie Williams. Donnie's a good guy too, man, out of Texas, by the way.
What's up, brother Donnie?
Can you
What's your
see that
question?
question? Can you see that question? I'll read it off to you if you can't see it. It's on the
How
screen.
do inmates get a hold of the paperwork? Oh, okay. When you go to court, they give you a paperwork. It's the law. Like, you gotta have your official charging documents. Like, I'm gonna just stick with the feds. You know, in the feds, before you get sentenced, it's up to the U.S. Department of Probation to provide what they call a pre-sentence investigation. It's called a PSI for short. They want to know what school you went to, what your household was like, how many brothers and sisters you got, uh, everything that led up to your incarceration, uh, uh, whether you got substance abuse, whether you was abused. They like the FBI looks, they investigate you because if you went to the federal institution, it's more than likely that the FBI, the ADF, Secret Service, or one of those agencies arrested you. So they do that type of investigation. And they write it all in this thing called a PSI, and they get it to the judge. They give you an opportunity to read it and say, is there anything in here that you think is not true and all that? But then the judge get that. So when they get ready to sentence you, they use the information in the PSI. So if you cooperated against somebody, or your charge is right on the front. It say United States of America versus such and such, blah blah. Your charges USC 18, whatever 848 or whatever the code is, and the charge like USC 18922G, felon in possession of a firearm. It's right on the front, right? And then they go down and detail all the information. So in 2004, they went all over the Bureau of Prisons shaking down cells because it was so many hot people in the prison. They didn't want you to have your PSI on the compound. But that's what they mean when the paperwork. They want to see what the judge, what the U.S. attorney signed, what you signed, anything that you signed. And another thing they do is they check dockets. Like if a dude come on there, he be like, I don't got my PSI. Well, write your lawyer and tell him you want a copy of your docket. That means every time you went to court. And they give you a time limit. All right, you ain't got your PSI, especially after 2004. All right, well, write your lawyer. The shot caller, the car, going to tell you. You from New York? All right, you need to write your lawyer and tell them you need your docket, a copy of your docket or your PSI. Now, if you don't have it by Friday, you got to get off the compound. It's just that simple. That's in them real joints, So that's how we get the paperwork.
So
and now dudes in prison got smartphones. So it's super easy now.
Damn.
We didn't have smartphones. We didn't have any type of phones. In my last case, I went in 1999. That's back when they had what they call them phones? Nokia.
Nokia phones, yeah.
Yeah, that's when I went in. Now you got smartphones. So it ain't hard at all to Google something, find out who somebody is. But back in the day, what we used to do is get on the phone, we'd write a letter home and just put the name down there. And then we get on the phone and say, what's up with them peoples? You know what I'm saying? And then they can, since they free, they can, use whatever resources they have to find out who that individual is. But now, shoot, they got smartphones in prison.
So they're gonna find out for sure. It ain't gonna take long.
No, it ain't gonna take long.
All right.
It ain't gonna take long at all.
Now, X, just to before we go on to the next part, now, because myself, come on, I haven't been to prison. I only been to jail, right? And I got my way out of jail. You know what I'm saying? And then to get out, I'm innocent. They take their time, do what they gotta do, and I'm gone. Right now, check this out, man.
That shit was weak anyway. But go ahead.
Right. When you look at this, exactly,
Yeah, they was just fucking with
I
y'all.
have beaten people up and shit. It's been petty. It's always beating something up. So look at that for me. But check this out, man. When you look at these charges, now keep in mind something happened yesterday that might change all of this. That might make it look a little different. You don't know what that is. We're gonna play it after this part. I got it ready. But when you look at these charges, tell me what you see.
Dead man walking. I can't really explain it no other way, bro.
I mean, can you
If
tell me
you a
something like,
child molester in prison,
is that
your
what MOL
life
means?
is immediately in danger. I'm talking about immediately in danger, bro. You are immediately in grave danger. They don't want
No.
to hear no stories, you know. Sometimes it'd be like dudes come in, they might be like 19 and they might have had a girlfriend that was like 17. And the
Uh-huh.
parents press charges and say, you know what I'm saying, that they sexually assaulted a minor because they was fucking, right?
Mm.
Now, every now and then, if it's something like that, like you 18, the girl was 16, the parents just didn't like you, they press charges on you. That's different. They kind of give a little leeway for that type of shit, right? But if you 35 and you was with a 14-year-old or anything like that, bro, your life is in danger. It's just no other way for me to explain that. Like the staff will put you out. You can't do nothing. You just can't even let nobody know. It's like, what you in here for? DUI. You better say something. You better not. You you
Okay,
not.
so if you go in there and you say, I'm in here for L and L, MOL, child 12 to 16,
They
does
would
that mean,
never ever say that out their mouth, bro.
does that MOL mean molestation? What does that
Yes,
MOL mean?
that
Okay,
means
because
molestation over minor child,
okay.
bro. Let me tell you something, and this is what God loved. The truth is no child molester dumb enough to pull that paperwork that I was looking at on that screen out and show it to nobody, bro. I'm trying to take, man. Oh my God, bro. I mean, it's just savage. It's just like if you think about how the slave masters were and the slave makers were,
Mhm.
how savage they were when they, you know, they beat the black woman, pregnant black woman up, pulled the baby out of her body and all that old savagery. That's what goes on with child molesters.
Mhm. All right, bro. So
Your life is in grave danger. Like you just don't tell nobody. They'll be like, "What you in here for?" I got a DWI. They would never pull out that paperwork right there that I'm looking at. You're dead, man. From that point on,
all
you're
right,
done.
everybody. I just want to let you know I'm talking to my homeboy, one of my sandboxes from DC. He's my he's family. He's like my blood. I'm not going to speak too
Absolutely.
much on that, but he's my blood. He's my family. My I would put my life in his hands any day of the week, and vice versa, right? But
Facts. Big
I want you
facts.
to know he was a shot caller. It's no need to even say that. You could say that, but I'm just going to let you know from the DC Blacks, been in the feds, been in the state pen, different ones. He's been in
DC,
there for a while.
Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina.
Just to recap for the people that's just getting in here, because you know the time is early in the U.S., but they're gonna roll in now.
Well, I used to be a criminal. That's all. You know that. I was a drug dealer. Then I started robbing. So I'm 52 years old. I've already served 25 years of my life in prison. I still cope day to day dealing with citizens
Hmm.
because their disrespect is something that's not tolerated in the prison. Like the way they talk to you, the way they move, or the way they act, stuff like that. You can't do that in prison. You cannot do that. You know, you might be in your feelings out here. People be lip syncing, going back and forth. Like,
So, yeah. All right. So X, let's say you from DC and you end up in a spot with with a big DC car, but you're a child molester. Does that make a
oh,
difference?
any prison, with the exception, I'm gonna say this one more time for the people that didn't hear it. In 2004, the feds started putting all the sex offenders in their own prison.
The feds, not the
The
state.
federal government, not the state. The state don't do that. You know, the federal government started making sex offender prisons like Butner Low, Petersburg Medium. They turned them into sex offender joints, and all the ones with sex offender cases, they transferred them there so they can walk around, and so you know what I'm saying, they can go to commissary without getting extorted or whatever. That's what the feds remedy to all the violence that happened to sex offenders, right? In the state, your ass out. Period. Like if it come out, if anybody find out you was a sex offender, you might well kill yourself.
Hmm.
And that's real talk. You might well just kill yourself because the abuse is gonna be, you know, they say that the anticipation of death is greater than death itself.
Mm-hmm.
And when you getting just violated on a daily basis, like sometimes they play with them like a mouse, a cat play with a mouse. They don't really kill it. They just play with it, whatever. Woo.
Mm-hmm.
If you's a broke sex offender, like you can't get no money, nobody send you no money in jail, you done. They
Hmm.
might play with you for about a week. And then somebody who just got a lot of time or they facing a lot of time if they not in prison yet, but if they in prison and they got 65 years or 2 life sentences or whatever, they
Mm-hmm.
might just get up and just say, I'm going to go kill that motherfucker. And they do it. They just go kill him.
Let me stop you. Let me stop you, man.
Right?
Because I just got to say this. A lot of y'all in the U.S. and y'all my family too. But listen, let's just have a little. Um, let's have a different etiquette for today. This is my homie, and we're just going to do a little test because he is what he say he is, and he only came here because I asked him to come here. You know, he's my blood, right? If you got a cash out, put something in it. Let him know and let me know that you want him to continue because we're going to get firsthand information from a person that's been in the pen for 20 years. He was reading people's paperwork. He himself was reading the paperwork when you come in the prison for the
Oh,
car.
yeah, you got to show that work.
So
You got to
please
show that work.
just send him something. Let me know you're serious about this because we can do this another day. We're going to do a number two. We're going to do a number two. That's for sure. But it's going to be good today. But if you got, well, I ain't even going to say what it is. Let me know when you get it, Grizz. But while we do a minute before we move to the next part, you see that question Donnie put up there on the screen?
How do inmates get a hold of paperwork?
Mm-hmm.
It's easy now. They got cell phones in there. The guards bring cell phones in, you know. In the feds, having a cell phone is a 100 series shot. It's in the same category as killing, rape, taking hostages. They call it an escape tool. Now, in the state institutions, they bring them in too. But the state and the feds are two different things completely. But if you got a smartphone, just like we can Google anything, they can Google anything. They can find out anything in cyberspace about you, right? If they identify you, as a child molester, you have like 0.0001 seconds to run to the fucking police and tell them that you need to go to the hole. You need to be protected. I don't feel safe.
And what
Because
we're
if,
looking at right here is on the net.
bro,
That's the
whoever
insane.
that dude is, that case right there, even if he get found not guilty, just going to certain county jails in Miami, Dade, with a Zopound at, bro, bro, there's no safe space for you, bro. They gonna punish you. All child molesters get punished. Even straight rats might not get punished like that. Like you told on your whole crew. Like you got caught riding around the car, you got to jump in the car, you doing some wild shit. You get pulled over. They like, help us help you, whatever, woo, woo, woo. Tell us something, give us somebody. You tell them your whole damn crew. You go to jail. You the hot boy, you the rat. You might survive, depending on where you at. But if you a child molester, oh God, it's open season. Like, it's like, oh, some dudes that be in there, they they literally get. You got a lot of dudes in prison that's sadomasochistic. So it's like they get sexually excited from hurting people. So a child molester is like a gift. And sometimes the COs, they do it on purpose. They put you somewhere, you know, and motherfuckers just, man, the brutality, bro. It's really like anything that you can imagine in your mind to make somebody suffer. That's what they do if they don't just want to kill you. They'll make you suffer like that for a week. You ain't got no money. A week is all you got. But if you one of them child molesters that got money, or some people care about you, they're gonna send you money and whatnot. They just gonna keep beating your ass. You ain't gonna eat nothing. Fried chicken day. You soon as that tray hit your hand, somebody coming to take that. Like you know you
X.
you bruh.
Let me ask you something, because this is about this Cash App thing, and I'm just going to tell you. I'm just going to say this. I know you. You my homie. So we don't ever. What we say is what we do. It's just like that, right? So I'm letting you know this first round right here, this little how many minutes we've been on here, that's on me. You see what I'm saying? And also, and the reason why I'm saying that is not for you, because I know that it don't even matter. It's on me. It's my word, but it's also because how many folks from the pen you give jobs to in DC? How many of the cats? So that's why I'm talking about this cat, because we have to have like legitimate people, real folks like that we talking to about this. You see what I mean? And
So what was your question, bro? I missed it. I'm sorry.
so yeah, it's just now I'm just saying for this first round. The next question I was gonna have, it's just
Mm-hmm.
simple. Before we wrap this first little tiny thing up about this paperwork right here, because I know you don't know it all, right? But I just wanted to say that to you
After a
because
quarter of a century, I know a whole bunch of it.
exactly. Now
Yeah.
you see these charges right here, and let's say you got 1, 2, 3, 4 felonies, and you got 1 misdemeanor. You got 2 no actions. So he got 5 charges. Now, if you take typically, I'm talking about typically, because you haven't heard what comes next, but let's just say it's all typical anyway, what's coming next. So typically, if you taking a plea and there's DNA on the child's scarf, shirt, she got bruises on her mouth, they got the witness, the victim's testimony, right, of falling out when the dude pulled out his private parts, right? You got testimony that the accused told the mother, "Please don't say anything because it's going to ruin my career." Blah blah blah. That kind of evidence, right? There's more evidence, but that kind of evidence. What type of plea do you see? Just generally, from what you see right here, what type of plea do you think Florida would give the brother? Fuck that. I ain't gonna say brother.
Florida is a racist state. You know, it's a red state. You know, Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, just made it a felony for you to take somebody that's undocumented to the hospital. Florida's a very racist state, right? So he black. So they gonna throw him out there. They gonna throw him out there. Like if they gave him a plea, well, all of them felonies. So it ain't like he can plead to a misdemeanor, right? And any felony conviction that he get that have anything to do with a minor child, bruh, grave danger. Like he need to tell them I can't go out in population. And they're like, what do you mean? I can't go out in population. So you want a hole? Yeah, just put me in the hole and sell by myself.
But what type of plea do you see the state giving him if they're going to entertain it? With
Well, he got 7, right? Let me look at these joints again.
Yeah, just take a look. He got 2. The last 2 are non-actions. And the reason why I'm asking you, because people so far have been talking about, I've talked to a lawyer and blah blah blah. Let's talk to a felon. Let's talk to a convicted felon and see what the convicted felon say. That did 20 years in prison.
25, unfortunately. But out of all these charges, it really don't even matter. If he just got the what's that joint right there, like contributing to the delinquency of a minor. If somebody on that compound find out that's why they in prison, bro, I just can't even explain it. You know, it's just like.
But with DNA evidence, and the
if you had your DNA on a minor child, there's no talking, bro. Dudes are gonna punish you. Like you can't talk. You can't. It's just like if you go in prison with them type of charges, that's how dudes find out. They be like.
But have you ever heard of a person with charges like this walking away from 4 felonies and just getting a misdemeanor?
Never.
With DNA evidence?
Never.
And victim testimony?
Victim testimony can be suspect. DNA evidence is not suspect.
Okay.
People lie. Men lie, women lie, the numbers don't. If you got if they found any semen on that child, that's the end of your life. Your life would never be the same no more. It's like whatever you did to get locked up, wherever you slipped up or whatever, you will regret that for the rest of your life. And your life might not last a week, 2 weeks. The longest I ever seen one sex offender on a compound was about 2 months. In general population, 2 months max. And it was 2 months of hell. I'm talking about hell. When you see a human being eating out the toilet, you know what I'm saying? Because if you don't do it, we're going to keep beating you. So they just beat him up, tell him, eat that shit out the toilet. Oh, what? And they just start beating him. And then the motherfucker just put their face in the toilet, start eating shit. I mean, just for fun. I'm talking about for laughs, and then they got them smartphones in there. They making videos. I've seen TikTok videos with sex offenders, and they say, "What you in jail for?" eyes black. It's just the worst nightmare you could ever imagine. You know, that's all I can say about that, bro. I mean, I'm not even going, I can't even hold you. You feel what I'm saying? If you a sex offender in the prison system in the United States of America, either the feds or the state, especially the state, because the feds gonna try to rescue you and put you in one of their little pedo camps.
Mm-hmm.
But if you in the state, if you in Greenville, Red Onion, Sussex, in Virginia, if you in the Maryland Penitentiary, Eastern Correctional Institution, Jessup, Rockbridge, in the state of Maryland, if you in that DC jail, if you is a pedophile and the people in the general population find out that you're a pedophile, your life is immediately in danger. Like, it ain't gonna be no shooting from across the street. They're gonna beat your ass to death, or stab you to death, or choke you to death, or suffocate you, or your life is in danger. That's it. I can't make it. It's just as dangerous as having a fake AK-47 going down the 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue and trying to climb that fence. It's more dangerous than that.
All right, X.
Yo,
Everybody, just so people know, this is my man X from the Sandbox. He's my brother. He's the type. He is one of the brothers out of a few that I would trust him with my life. I would put my life in his hands, and vice versa. That's how it is. That's how it works for us. And so that's the only reason why I'm having him up on here, and that's the only reason why he is here. So I don't want to segue into the next part, but we got to segue because I don't want to keep you too long. But I just want you to look at the next part. But I want to say to JTV, Jade asked the question: don't they put them in a separate wing like the protected, not in general population? You think Florida State do that? What you got to say about that, X?
well, of course they're gonna have segregation. Most of the time, people in seg they go there because they don't know how to act. So either they get caught drinking wine, or they bucked on the police or whatever. But who cleans segregation? Who delivers the food? Other inmates.
Mm-hmm.
So they not even safe in segregation, right? They are, bro. If it's one thing that a person should pray for, is if you's a sex offender and you in prison, that's the worst thing in the world that could ever happen to you, bro. You already in there with people that do violence on a daily basis, bro. You in there with the robbers and the murderers and violent people. They already frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
If they can't even see their kids. Their baby mom ain't gonna bring the kids up there. They got a new dude. Your kids calling him daddy and all this, and then you come in here and you done sexually assaulted a child.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's the most inhumane thing I've seen in my whole life. The way that they treat sex offenders in prison. They can ask to be in segregation. Most places when you're in seg, you get the Supreme Court already said that you gotta get 1 hour of recreation out of 24. That's the law, like every day.
Mm-hmm.
So you be on 23 and 1, and then when they let you out, you gotta worry about is anybody else in the hallway, on the walkway, going out to the yard. Now they do have separate little cages that they put us in for rec when you're on segregation.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes they trick them just to get close enough to them. to do something to him. Man, come over here, talk to me, man. What you all the way over there for? They trying to choke him through the fence. Your life is in danger if you're a sex offender in prison. That's the long and short of it. I mean, you can't escape it. And then the police, they not down with that either. So, you know, you might have an order that says you can't be around no other inmates. The police might find out what you're in prison for. They'll put somebody in your cell on purpose, right? And say they made a mistake. That's it. You already fucked. So, I mean, anybody, bro, old man, they don't care if you's a 68-year-old pedophile. If your ass in jail, they will beat you like you. It's disgusting, bro.
All right.
And that's all I can say about that. I mean, your life is in grave danger if anybody in the general population in prison, especially in the state, and especially in the state of Florida, Texas, Louisiana, Virginia.
X.
Your life is in danger.
All right, before we segue to the next part, brother, because you know this ain't just me and you today. This is me, you, and the internet, right? So I just want to keep it pushing, keep it moving. But before we go to the next part, the part you haven't seen yet about this case, it's a bunch of busters on the internet. So you know, people get funny, say funny things, do funny stuff, get funny ideas, make funny assumptions, but do you want to tell people just for a second about the neighborhood we come from when we was growing up?
Well, you know, we was on Capitol Hill. We was on Capitol Hill.
What you could expect if you want a little bit of trouble.
Oh, you can die anywhere in DC for real, unless you all the way uptown. You know, on north of you know, Wisconsin Avenue. You can die up there too, but it's very rare. But
all right, so just stop right there. Now, let them know just a second.
6 people got shot on 4th of July.
But look, let's not go there because that's the youngins. That's the youngins today. Let's go back in time. Let's go back in time when we were young men, right? On the block, right? In our neighborhood. Now, the neighborhood I come from and the neighborhood you come from, they're right next to each other, right? Just for people to know. Now, my block,
you know, we went to elementary school together, so.
Do you, yo, X, my block, do you think anybody in their right mind will come around there looking for any type of trouble?
Looking for drama.
Anybody else? And don't explain nothing, but just very simple. Do you think they would come around there looking for any drama from me?
Bro, you already know. That's a no-go. That's a no-go. You know what I'm saying?
Internet twerps think because I live in Copenhagen.
Bro, we from DC, Mo. Kill. You're I ain't trying to put your business out there, but
yeah, don't.
You know,
don't put yours out there either.
Man, come on, Mo. We from Washington, DC. That's it. This is a dangerous place. In the 80s, it was the murder capital of the United States for like 4 years straight. You can lose your life. It's people, listen, I went outside the other day, right? This car came down the street. It had so many damn bullet holes through the window. They shot the girl and the dude that was in the car. The girl was pregnant. She died and they delivered the baby. The baby, the only one that lived, bro. And that was around 37th Street. Google it. 37th Street, Southeast, Washington, D.C. That was like last week. In DC, you know, it ain't like Chicago. They just be beefing over dumb stuff, running around shooting people. In DC, if you play with somebody, your life is in danger, just like a pedophile. You know, we grew up in the hood, you know, especially in the, you know, but we were beefing over money. Wasn't nobody beefing because you like this girl and all that old dumb stuff. We were trying to get some money. So that's where we grew up. So anybody out there in the internet land, I don't be out in the internet land. I just came on here because bro asked me to come on here and tell some facts. But ain't nobody never play with us.
The nickname for our neighborhood, Capitol Hill, was Capitol Kill.
Capitol Kill.
That was our nickname.
Capitol.
You know, for people that don't come from DC and don't know anything about the area. And a couple of blocks from the Capitol and
blocks,
all the way east
blocks.
through Capitol Hill, major drug hubs.
Everybody on my block sold weight. Everybody that lived on my street sold weight.
And this is Capitol Hill.
Capitol Hill. Everybody on my block. You know, I can name them. You know what I'm saying? Shit, my homeboy Aaron, he just got home. He been locked up like 25 years. You know what I'm saying? We had one hot bam on the block. Everybody has excommunicated him. You know, he told on my other homeboy.
Get it? Yeah. Don't worry.
And it's like, so nobody don't, you know, he didn't want to kill him or nothing. He just got finished doing like 27 years, came on home. He just let it, you know. But everybody around our way sold weight. Everybody, you know, we used to fight a lot. We used to go. We used to get jumped. We used to, you know, all type of crazy stuff, you know, just
Grizz.
City stuff.
And it's out there, right? So check this out. Let me ask you this, X. When did we first step off the porch?
And we wanted by the time we was in the 8th grade. What you mean?
All right, let's just stop. Let's just stop right here. Let's just stop right here.
Oh my God.
All right, let's go to the next part, man. It's just for the, you know, because
I started selling weed in middle school. In gardens, Google.
Yeah, he said Wayne Perry was a monster. Yeah, but check this out.
He used to rob people with. He used to come tell drug dealers get that up, and they knew they was gonna get shot. He robbed with no gun. Everybody knew Wayne shoot you. Like who didn't?
Yeah,
stuff.
We can tell one before we go to the next part. We can tell that one story about Wayne. That movie. What's that movie they did in New York with Tupac in it? What was it called? Tupac. That was his first movie. Anybody know that? What's up, David? Anybody know that first movie Tupac was in New York, where they was playing basketball? You remember that movie? Who? Somebody know that movie? Who? Above the Rim. That scene where Tupac goes up to the dude on the basketball court and his right-hand man shoots the other dude in the head. That story is taken from DC, and it's a real story. And when that dude got shot in the head, everybody went back to playing basketball over a dead body. That's the generation myself and X grew up in DC. That's our area, side of town, where we grew up in. So let's just go. That's just for the internet busters, you know, because myself, I moved on because I have some sanity. I move on because of my dead friends. I move on because of my friends that went to prison. And I also move on because of my family, my heritage, the honor I have for my family. I'm a sane person. You see what I mean? I didn't let those kind of things stop me. And X is here because why he want to tell kids don't follow in the same footsteps. Don't do the same thing. But we got
See, plumbing, electric, get you a trade. AI. So learn AI will be replacing a lot of jobs. Give it 5 years. So you need a trade. Don't go to college, get student loan debt and all that. You know what I'm saying? Because and you know you need to do something that a computer can't do. That's the only way you're gonna stay valid.
All right, let's move to the next part, bro. Because you gonna be back. Because you my blood. You know, we're gonna be back. You're gonna be back because there's always gonna be some more scenarios where I can use your help personally. You know, and I want my audience to have the benefit of that because you a solid dude. By the way, you know, yeah, go ahead.
Questions, you know, I just keep it 100.
Mm-hmm. Oh, your internet's going out. Your internet is getting weak, yeah. It's breaking up.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to try to switch. You know, I got 5G and I got the regular. Let me go back out in the front room. Let me do that.
I think you're good. Yeah.
No, it's like anybody that's on your page or whatnot, you know what I'm saying? I'm just a perfect example of what not to do unless you like suffering. So I did a lot of suffering, but you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I changed my life. So, you know, it's a new day. But DC, when I used to come back from my runs to New York, Florida, and all these places, I used to say this city got teeth because it looks so calm. And then when you coming down 395 back into the city,
Keep talking for a second, X. Give me 1 minute. I'll be right back. Keep talking.
all right, it looks so calm. But this city got teeth. Yeah, it's like a lot of big cities and stuff, you know. You know, we got a lot of affluent people here. You got real poor people here. Uh, you know, it's always drugs 24/7. You can get what you want in DC. This is the nation's capital. You can what you want. You know, the only other place I saw that things were, you know, so, you know, loosey goosey is New York. I used to live in New York, you know, and Manhattan. And I think people get DC confused, you know, just because the president here and all that. Listen, it's people that been arrested right in front of the White House. You can Google it. Selling crack in Lafayette Square. It's like right across straight from the White House. So, you know, it's a wild place, but it's where we call home, you know. It is what it is. DC is a mixing pot. We got a lot of different people moving here from other parts of the country. You know, the complexion of DC is changing greatly. When I first came home from prison, I rode down this street called 8th Street. I seen a white woman outside walking a daggone Sharpay or something at 8 o'clock at night with some flip flops on. Before I went to prison, that would have never happened. Never. That would have never happened. Like, so when I came home, it was like culture shock. I was like, oh my God, what are these white people doing on 8th Street? If you Google 8th Street, Northeast DC, during the riots when Martin Luther King was killed, they burnt that to the ground.
Yeah, I'm back, X.
Yeah, I was telling the people about 8th Street.
Yeah.
during
8th
the
Street,
riots,
U
Martin Luther
Street,
King.
all over the damn city, man. Downtown.
But you know, they burned down 8th Street. There was a lot of rioting going on when Martin Luther King got killed.
Yeah.
And then when I came home, I seen a white woman walking down the street with a damn chihuahua with some flip flops on at 8 o'clock at night. When we was growing up, would you ever see that? Would you ever see a white person walking down the street by themselves
It's
8, 9,
gentrified.
10 o'clock at night? Hell no. And it
Rockman.
wasn't because nobody was necessarily going to do nothing to them, but it's just that they just didn't want to come. Like anything could happen to you down there. Remember when they raped the woman and stuck the bicycle thing in her stuff
Yeah, 8th Street. Cast.
on 8th
Street.
Street?
Yeah,
Right.
the 8th Street, 8th and 8th crew. Yo.
So I don't know why these people that you associate on the internet would think just because you live in Denmark and they know you from DC, you know, that it's some type of game or something like that. You know, that's a little bewildering to me. Are they that stupid?
Basically, but yo, fuck them. But check this out. Rockman said he was putting in work with Rafers, was doing his thing when the Shower Posse was running Maryland, DC. I mean, the Shower Posse came down. They was down. DC dudes let Shower Posse in, you know. Actually, DC dudes ain't had no problem with Shower Posse. The only time it became a problem was when they basically wasn't following the rules, and that created a lot of violence. And the Shower Posse dudes can tell you about that. I mean, I don't have no me. I know some of the Shower Posse dudes. I know some of them. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no big deal. That was a common thing. DC dudes never had nothing against nobody. Period. But anybody knows that when you try to take over, that's going to be another problem, and that
Well,
creates.
now you coming straight up my alley. I had beef with them. Yep. I had beef with them. Right. I ain't mess with them like that. You know, when they used to be over Paradise and Mayfair and stuff, and they start beating up people's mothers for $20 and stuff like that.
Yeah, see, it was a cultural problem, basically.
It started a war.
Yeah.
And that's why Ray, or I'm not gonna say in particular, but certain individuals in the city, they was giving out eighths big eights, if you would shoot one of them. It got that bad. Like if you shot one of them and it came on TV that such and such got shot, and somebody said, yeah, you the one that shot him, they're gonna give you a for key. Just like that. No conversation. Because they came down here and started like carrying the homies and stuff. Disrespecting, the mothers and all this old crazy stuff. And we from DC. We don't, ain't nobody colonized DC. It's dudes that came down from NY, Alpo, and it was a few. Mike, different people used to come down to DC. But when a person from DC feel they being disrespected, we go to war. We don't even play around like that. Like you can't walk up on no set up here and do nothing. Alpo, he kind of like, he was connected with a few people, so they kind of like gave him a pass and stuff like that. As far as the Jamaicans go, once they started trying to wild out and stretch out on people in DC, they had the bounty on their head, and they was getting shot all the time. You know what I'm saying? We just start robbing them and, take all that somewhere else.
Yeah.
When I used to hustle out Frederick, we had dudes out there from Baltimore, New York, DC, and the natives. DC ain't no walk on. If you don't know somebody around the hood, you getting dealt with. It's like they had the Jamaicans down here for a while, but I didn't have a good relationship with them, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah. We had some run-ins with them. you know, but it wasn't personal. It's just they get out of pocket and do things a little differently, and that's all it is. But at the same time, the only Jamaicans ain't Shout Posse dudes. It's a lot of cats that Jamaican background, Trini background that grow up in DC that roll with the DC dudes too. So it's not about their ethnicity or nothing like that. You know, the Shout Posse was just trying to do their own thing. They do their thing their way. But yo, let's flip the script and go back to this case, bro. Now listen, anybody in the chat, like I said, I don't know, yo, X, you get any cash apps yet or what? Because I'm not gonna waste this time.
I'm scared to check because I don't want my phone. You know what I'm saying? They keep cutting me off and taking me out.
Don't worry about it. Whatever it is for this round, I'm taking care of you. Even though I know you don't care, you're not here for that. But just out of respect, because you're going to hear some real shit from a person that's been in the pen for 20 years in state and feds, you know, and he ain't got no reason to bullshit y'all. You get a look. You got to look at what the lawyers say about a certain case. You got to look at what the public say about a certain case. You could go on the internet and Google some law firm and hear about it. But now you can also hear from somebody that is, you know, that just want to tell you from those eyes what it looked like.
If that dude get convicted of any charge on that paper, his life is in grave danger, and that's on my mother. Like anywhere, that's they said from 12 to 16. Oh, bro, there's no way you can talk your way out of that. It ain't no way you can pay your way out of it. Like I said, they might make you run money and just beat you up all the time and just do disrespectful stuff to you all the time. And the only way you're gonna be able to stay on that compound is if you're paying somebody to protect you. And then they gonna beat you up, and then it's the worst thing you could ever do in life is go to jail with a skin beef on a child. That's it. That's the worst thing you can do, bro.
Yo, X, the part of town, what's the 3 spots from our just immediate part of town people might know if they heard of it? Like homeboy here, he mentioned Rafus. Rafus is just down the block from the Capitol.
He live right around the corner from us. He live on 6 and L.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we got Trinidad.
You know, we got Trinidad in a minute. You know, in a minute ain't even there no more. It's a condo now, but we had in a minute. We right around the corner from Trinidad, right across the park from Tommy Gardens, right down the street from Surgeon Quarters on the northwest side, right on the other side of North Capitol Street. But we was our own, you know what I'm saying? We were just Capitol Kill.
Yeah, most of the DC dudes, they get along in different neighborhoods. We know we get along and roll with cats from Uptown, cats from the Hill, cats from Southeast. You know, that's how most.
It all depends on what type of person you are.
Yeah.
Either you's a good dude or you not. Either you's a snake or whatever. We ain't never, you know, have gangbangers and Crips and Bloods and all that. It was just your hood, like who you grew up with, your men and them. And that come from all over the city. You know, I grew up in Northeast and Southeast.
Yeah.
So when I used to hang uptown, I went to school uptown and all that. I had girls uptown. But I'm just from Northeast. You know what I'm saying? Uptown dudes was fly and all that. I'm from where Ray from, Northeast. We was all about the bag. That's it.
We had Rafers, Kurt Bone, all them cats in the same similar crew that from the Northeast side, you know. But
we
they
had
didn't have
Umi.
beef with cats.
We had Umi, Duck.
Place. Yeah.
All them from Northeast. Umi, Duck, Wolfers, Rafer, Ronnie and Johnny Strong. We was about getting that bag around here. I don't know what you talking about. Hold up. Duval Hucks from Montana.
Yeah. You know, DC is a small city. So all these areas like 5-minute drive. You know, 5-minute drive. Either way, you know, And then a lot of the Northeast cats, that's how they get around. You know, it just these areas ain't far from each other at all. You know, but
Brentwood, Montana.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
let's flip over from this because you know this is a whole nother story, man. You know, but let's go back to this case here. I'm gonna let you hear something because we had a question earlier. It was about a reset. Let me see where that question is. I'm gonna give you this question up here, and then we're gonna play it before you answer it because you haven't heard it. And I think it was who asked that question about the reset? It's somewhere in the chat. Let me go down. Where is it in the chat? What is a reset? Somebody asked, what is a reset? All right. Well, you're going to hear it for yourself. Let me go right. I'm just going to play this one. All right. Take a listen. All right, X?
I'm here with you.
Here we go. In court that day, so I don't know if he was here or not. I don't believe he was. But what we did was we picked today for a due date for the state's response, and then the 13th to litigate the motion.
Right. Eric is saying he wasn't here, so he needs to be here on the 13th. Okay.
I mean, it's just, I'm not sure if that'd be enough time for proper notice because it's July 7th today. So
I'm telling you all.
right, I mean, we can definitely try, but I just, you know, when it comes down to it,
why wouldn't he be here anyway? There's a motion that will significantly impact.
I mean, we can do it on the 24th, Judge. I don't have a problem with that.
I say, I mean,
Wait,
I'm
hold on.
good with leaving it on. I'm just, if it turns out.
Hey, Shaka, you in the chat? Did I start it off too late? Did I start this off too late? Where should I start it at? Because this is your vid, bro. Let me just, because I believe it started off. Yeah, we still got some time, so his part comes up. Let me go back. Maybe it started right here. Shaka comes up on the screen. Let me see here. I think it's gonna start right here. By the way, X, this is my man Shaka up here. He got a good channel. His channel is called My Forever, and his second channel is called Shaka and Dugu Komet. He's actually been. It don't mention the charges. No, it don't matter. Shaka, it don't matter. I just want to know if I started it in the right place. Yeah, because I just want to hit a Michael Nowak part. They don't mention the charge. Yeah, he already seen the charges anyway. So now this is what happened yesterday. Let me just start it and let it play. And Shaka, if you got some info, you just let me know. Is it playing? Would I turn the volume down or what? No, that's playing. Sorry for the delay. 2 seconds. Let me see. Is it playing or what? Oh, I know what I can do here. We can do this like this.
That's bottom of the guidelines.
So it's only if it's granted, not if it's argued?
If it's argued, it will negatively impact plea negotiations, but the state will not withdraw from negotiations if the motion is litigated. If the motion is granted and the state is then made to disclose the CI, at that point the state will withdraw.
So you probably should define a little bit more specifically the negative impact on plea negotiations. And
Well,
okay.
Judge, I've offered a 3-year state prison followed by 3 years reporting probation. I've been in touch with
This is not the case. The case is coming up.
We are negotiating,
Okay.
so, and I've let him
Yeah, this is, they go through a couple of cases.
know, that the negotiations before litigation of the motion are going to be the most, favorable for his client.
let me do this. Can you have your client here 7:13? Is that a sounding?
It's a sounding, yes.
Have him be here 7:13. If the motion is going to be heard, I'll let Judge Oldfield pick a date. If that was him, I would hear it 7:24, which is a trial date, but I'm not him.
So we
Okay.
picked 7:13 to
Oh, you
litigate
did?
the motion already, yes.
Okay, all right, so I didn't realize that. Don't you all think Mr. Quintero should be colloquied before the motion is litigated?
That's why I'm asking he be present on that day, Your Honor.
All right, if you guys want that day, that's fine.
I mean, if they want a different day, then that's fine, but I don't intend to argue the motion until he's been colloquied.
So let's, please have your client here 7:13. We'll make a note that his
Yes.
presence is required for the motion, 7:13.
I just want to double check. This was already set for argument, or was this only set for sounding and we chose this as an argument date after? So was this, in other words, was he was Mr. Quintero here when this was set for argument on the 13th for him? Because obviously his presence wouldn't normally be required on that day, it would be required on trial day. So I just.
So this was set on last Friday, Your Honor. I was not in court that day, so I don't know if he was here or not. I don't believe he was. But what we did was we picked today for a due date for the state's response, and then the 13th to litigate the motion.
All right. Eric is saying he wasn't here, so he needs to be here on the 13th.
I mean, it's just, I'm not sure if that'd be enough time for proper notice because it's July 7th today, so.
I'm telling you all.
Right, I mean, we can definitely try, but I just, when it comes down to it.
Why wouldn't he be here anyway? There's a motion that will significantly impact.
I mean, we can do it on the 24th, Judge. I don't have a problem with that.
I'm good with leaving it on. I'm just, if it turns out that he's not here or not present, then I think the proper thing would be to select a different date for the
So
argument.
please have Mr. De Los Santos have his client here on the 13th. Okay?
Thanks.
All right. Thank you. Page 12, Rube Profet.
Yes, Your Honor. So this is on because after Mr. Profet completed high-risk traffic, so the state is going to offer.
How many people is before due?
I think he's the next one. I think he's the next one. I just don't want to scroll past it, you know?
From the
What the heck?
traffic school. So it's just a question of waiting for him to get here, and I'm taking the plea.
Good morning, Eric. Yes, Mr. Corbett is on the way right now. He's riding a bike. So he is on the way. He's going to be bringing a physical copy, I believe, of the certification of completion, but I did also show ASA Bell.
All right, bottom of 12, so we'll pass Mr. Profet's case. Bottom of 12, Satira Long.
Judge, this is an individual who is in mental distress in Pennsylvania. She was, I think, the equivalent of Baker Acted, whatever that is, in Pennsylvania, and I believe she's currently institutionalized, but Mr. Peters has more information.
Yes, Your Honor. I've been trying to. The problem with this case is that Miss Long, my client, is in the hospital as a result of her mother, initiating a Baker Act proceeding. Because of that, obviously, Miss Long is not.
But I don't have it in the file itself.
And I can make a copy. Okay, we'll do it for you.
Yes,
Or you
please.
can provide a copy.
Yeah.
Let's make multiple copies, one for the state and one for Judge Alfield. And that's the April 20th one, right?
Yes.
And then what about the one from April 25th?
I think that was the additional notice
Yeah,
here. That have been addressed already twice by Judge.
Anything else on Mr. Cochran's cases?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Cochran, on 810, that outstanding motion will be dealt with, and we already dealt with the issue of the CCT footage. All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, yes, Mr. Flanagan.
Good morning, Your
Good
Honor.
morning.
David Porter versus Michael Ronaldo, meet attorney President Miller.
Page 7.
Good morning, Judge. Yes, thank you. Judge, this is my motion for a continuance. I think that this case is set for July 13. I'm going to be outside the U.S. through July, from July 13 through July 27th.
Going anywhere interesting?
Reykjavik?
Oh, yes. That's very popular. Iceland is very popular these days. Something about
Forward to it. Yeah. I'm hearing that more and more.
criminal offenses. You understand? Do you believe that this is in your best interest?
Yes.
Have you discussed the plea with your lawyer?
It's coming up
Has she
after
answered
this.
your questions?
Yes.
Do you need more time to speak to her about the plea? Do you understand that she's not?
I think that survivor advocate is a sister we know well who's sitting on the throne.
It's coming up now.
Let's how Frank is in live right now. Once again, the outcome will most likely be a bad look, so it's not surprising. Who knows? But anyway, we have our Bantu Hebrew brother. Did Judas Nasi let you back on? Or are you still blocked by him?
Hey, Shaka, is that the sidebar happening right now? Or what? Should I go back a little bit? Just waiting on Shaka. Hopefully, well, I'm gonna let it play. Maybe he'll just. I don't think we went past it.
Here we go.
Yes.
Here we go. What do you guys say? Here we go. Here we go. Did she say next we're taking Michael Nowak's case? Hold on. If you got a year time served for slapping the phone down, pull again. I was thinking the same thing. My goodness. Here we go. They're offline. Then Sidebar, something about to change. They gone quiet. So Smash. Let me hold on. Let me go back a little bit.
That you understand the nature of the charges against you in this case?
Good morning, Your Honor. On behalf of the state.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Harris on behalf of Mr. Nowak.
I'm sure you all are aware that
This is the
That's
case.
David. That's Michael. That's
I hear
Polite's lawyer, David Taras.
there's a lot of folks on Zoom on this case.
If we may go sidebar for a moment.
Sure.
Now they're going into sidebar. And he was supposed to plead out today officially in the court.
Okay, so we know so far that Polite's lawyer is there. But sidebar, it's not just a break. It means they want to talk. They want to
Negotiate.
This one not bad.
Good morning, Your Honor.
If you have no other holds, you should be released today. Anything else that we have to address, Mr. Jackson?
Judge, in exchange for the plea, to count one, the state announces a no cross.
All right, sir. Thank you. If you have no other holds, you should be released today.
It's my understanding he does not have any other holds as of now, so he should be getting released today.
Right. So just give them some time to process you. Thank you, Mr. Jackson.
All right, now listen up. That's Polite's lawyer.
I passed the couple cases.
Yes, Judge. Mr. Rapp is present.
Yeah. Michael Nowak on page 10.
You heard Michael Nowak on page 10. That's Michael Nowak. Jr. is for the Polite's government name.
On behalf of the state.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Harris on behalf of Mr. Nowak.
I'm sure
David Taras on behalf of Mr. Nowak.
you all are aware that there's a lot of folks on Zoom on this case.
If we may go sidebar for a moment.
Sure.
We may go sidebar. The only sidebar I knew was when you're navigating a website. Not recorded. So Glasses Stapler wrote not sidebar equals not recording an official testimony. He's trying to, it looks like some people trying to get the stuff private, you know. Maybe they don't want the people on Zoom to hear Mr. Nowak case. 7 years, my prediction. Yes, we do. Oh yeah, thank you. That was already on. Yes, we can hear you. Oh, there's no justice. Yes. It took a minute. Yes. No, we are permitted to hear anything in public trial per Florida law. Yes, you can hear me. I told you he pleading in the hallway. And you know what's funny? American healer is Anki, you know. And make sure you subscribe to my channel, by the way. Oh, somebody put his somebody has his face, you know, quickly on the top left. I don't know if you've seen it on Zoom, but Anki, American healer, did right earlier. He's gonna be pleading in the hallway. So that would not be the hallway, but it's like, you know, anyway. Maybe some people want to look up sidebar. I really want to put all the comments. So yep, they're talking behind the scenes. No break, sidebar. Someone asked to be muted from the Zoom. Well, it's understandable. Talking to the judge before the proceed. No, the judge said we have a lot of people on the Zoom in this case. Yeah, the judge said that indeed. No, she said it's a lot of people on Zoom. Yeah, she said that. But I heard the lady, probably the clerk, mentioned in the sidebar, we may go sidebar. She was asking. The defense may be asking for further consideration for a plea, for a guilty plea. They went ghost. She mentioned him. Then I think he requested to talk behind the scene. That's what it sounds like. We will hear his plea in sentencing. I don't know about the sentencing, but we should hear his plea because there shouldn't be any more continuation. You can ask the judge for life. What does that mean? I'll take SAR for $5. You can tell the judge you have evidence.
Your Honor.
So I'll continue to pass on page 12, Mr. Pulfett, for the adjudication time served.
Yes, sir.
He's the last plea. He's the last case on calendar.
But there is one thing that we need to address really quickly on Mr. Jackson, the case for which we just took a plea.
What page is that one on?
That was on.
The last page, sir.
17M.
17 now.
Yes.
In reference to that, the state had filed an amended information. I wanted to just make clear that we had accepted appointment as the amended information.
And then I forgot to ask if you waived any defects.
Waive defects.
Thank you. All right, so back on page 10, Mr. Nowak, it'll be reset for plea 9/6. Can we set it for 10 a.m.? Is that all right, or just?
Yes,
All right,
absolutely.
9/6 for 10 a.m. for plea?
What?
And then Mr. Terrace, you're going to take possession of Mr. Nowak's passport and then do a notice of compliance that you have it.
Correct, Your Honor.
All right, thank you all.
Thank you.
You hear that, X? It's going to be reset for plea. He was supposed to plead this day out in the court where they read it out, but now they took a sidebar and they say it's reset for plea. What's your thoughts on that? X, you there?
You can't hear me?
Now I can hear you. Yeah, you was on mute. You
Okay.
hear that? It's reset for plea.
I
after
did.
that sidebar. What's
September 6th.
right, I think so. What's your thoughts though? They was supposed
He's just trying to avoid the inevitable,
Hmm.
right? Because like I said, he already know because he done been charged that if he found guilty, his life is pretty much over. So you can delay as much as you want to. You can do whatever you want. But once you get that conviction, and especially if you plead guilty, it's like nobody railroaded you. Like you pled guilty to any one of them charges, any one of them. Your life is in danger. And those are big facts. You know, a dude might not have got no mail. He just ain't get no mail. And then he see you. If he know you a sex offender, he might just start beating you up like immediately. Like, you know, just I can't make it any clearer. All these charges that he got that I saw on the thing, he can set it off. He can delay. He can do all that. It doesn't matter. Once he get that conviction, he got to go to jail. They don't want to see that paperwork once he get on their yard. And if he can't produce that paperwork, he got to go on solitary confinement. And you still ain't safe on solitary confinement. So, I mean, you know, that's just the way it goes with them. That's just the way it goes, bro. It does not change, you know.
So what about the sidebar? So okay. Now,
He try when they do sidebars, that means that, you know, the prosecution and defense, they approach the bench and they might have said, like, you know, due to the graphic nature of this charge, they do that, you know. We just want to set it off, and he was supposed to plead. The defense probably some type of lame reason. This is not the right time or whatever, but the prosecution already has their evidence. They already have it. They're gonna try. That's that. If he get convicted of any one of those charges on that list that I saw, his life is in danger. Like there's no comedy, there's no nothing. You know, it's sad to me. If I would have had to check that paperwork and I seen them charges on there, he got to get off the job. That's the friendliest thing that's gonna happen. That's the friendliest thing. You know, to go check in.
So let me ask you this then. Let's say in that sidebar, would it be a possibility for any type of favoritism to be discussed based on who the individual is, or let's say anything that come into your mind? Like, could he possibly find a way to protect himself? Like you said, you even said it yourself. You said the best thing for him to do is to snitch or to do something like that, because otherwise it's finished, right?
He could tell whatever he want to tell. He got like 5 charges. I mean, is he going to tell on some bodies? If he's not telling on no bodies, and the process.
I think you went on mute. Did you go on mute, bro? Yeah, you went out, X. You were saying if he's not telling on no bodies.
If he's not bodies,
Mm-hmm. Oh, you want
they don't want to hear anything.
Okay.
Right? What about these charges? You charged with this. Even if he wanted to tell on somebody, if he ain't telling on somebody, they got 100 pounds of fentanyl or a dead body. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear it. I think the dude is done just by looking at what I've seen. And he gonna take a plea. He didn't even try to go to trial, so he don't even feel that he's innocent. If he was innocent, he would know that he need to go to trial. You don't take a cop to child sexual support. Child sexual assault. You would, under no circumstances, take a cop to a charge that's gonna get you some prison time. I got a call. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna send him a message. I'm gonna call him right back. But
yeah,
we're
gonna wrap
make
it
a
up.
move. But
hey,
let me just summarize this for you, V.
Yeah.
If you get accused of sexually assaulting a child and you know you didn't do it, then you definitely not even talking about a plea. Because if you are found guilty or if you confess, that's what a plea is. Your life is in grave danger. It's just no other way to put it. If somebody accused me, I'm going to trial because I know I didn't do it. So in the state of Florida, anywhere, child molesters, they get hurt. Like,
now
they die or they maim, hospitalized, crippled on a regular basis. It's universal. So
no matter what he could be singing about, if it's not a body, it's
if it ain't 100 pounds of fentanyl,
right?
Or where's Jimmy Hoffa? Bruh.
What about a couple of hundred scamming charges for microwave credit restoration?
They don't want to hear that. If you're a sex offender for children, No.
All right, bro. You know what? We're gonna do a round two, man. Because there's a lot of info. There's some things you haven't heard, and plus we got to give people some room for commentary and also catch up to date. It's still gonna be moving. New things are gonna come out. You haven't been acquainted with this at all. You just been acquainted with the main facts, and that's the good thing. Because when you hear,
I mean, it's pretty clear cut. I mean, the charging document is right there. You've been charged with this, and this. Now, two of these, they like, we don't know. But the prosecution don't even start prosecuting if they don't have evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you can try to cut some type of deal or whatever, but even if they drop all of them but one, and you get convicted of that one, where you gonna go?
So, if you had to guess, and a guess is like, hey, we all just guessing. It's just a guess. You know, anybody could be wrong. It's not an issue. It's just a guess. But looking at this, and you hear somebody trying to make a plea with DNA evidence, how much do you think they would drop from this that's there?
If they got DNA evidence, they might try to drop all the charges but one.
One felony.
Because all he need is one.
So if they drop all the felonies and just leave the contributing to a minor, you see that as being possible?
That's a misdemeanor?
Yes.
In Florida?
Yep. That's what it say.
With the sentence, we gotta look up what the how much time he can get. Because he can get it in the county jail.
Right.
Unless he just gonna stay in the cell and not come out if they give him a year and he in a single cell by himself. But he's still gonna be eating doo-doo in his food, and you know, if anybody know that he a child molester, let the games begin.
I'm gonna show you this. This is what it say real quick, and then I'm gonna let you go. You mind if I bring up some guests? Just for some commentary. You could listen in, and now let's keep in mind, you and I, we know we really don't give a shit about the commentary. You've been in the pen, you got experience. So, but it might be interesting to give people a chance to comment.
Pull it up, whatever it is, because I'm about to go get some money.
Yeah, let me here's what it say about that. I just Googled it. Can you see that?
Under Florida law, contributing to the delinquency of a minor is classified as a first-degree misdemeanor, punishable by up to 1 year in jail, 12 months probation, fines, court costs, restitution, community service, supervision, and other sanctions.
You think with the DNA evidence, there's a possibility of that?
If they had DNA evidence, they ain't even looking at contributing to the delinquency of a minor. If they got evidence, if they got actual his genetic DNA on an underage person, they going for that.
With bruises on the mouth,
bruises on
DNA
the mouth,
on the scarf or the shirt, her own testimony that she passed out when he pulled his private parts out.
Well, like I said, testimony can be disputed.
Right.
DNA cannot. Like, how did yours get on her clothes? Period.
Oh my goodness. Like,
did you steal her scarf, go and beat it off and bring it back? I mean, come on, bro.
Oh my God. All right, X, I'm gonna let you go. Can we do a round two at some further point, bro? Later in this case as it develops.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm kind of interested now.
All right, listen to me, man.
I don't even know this dude. I don't know nothing about him, but I read a lot of paperwork. So you can't exist on a no yard with them type of charges and somebody not going to do something to you. That's all I can tell you.
Mhm. I
You
appreciate
can't even show nobody that paperwork. Nobody. So it's sad that the brother, I don't know that dude, but it's like he couldn't even show that paperwork nowhere I was at. You know, nowhere. Like, you got what? What kind of story you gonna make up about how you got 5 molestation charges on a minor? What they just picked you out the whole population of the United States that decided they want to say that you did something to a minor? Come on. No.
Hey, X, you always been in a lot better shape than this guy. And also your brain is screwed on tighter, by the way. Much tighter. But even you, if you had these charges, even just that year, what would you do?
Oh my goodness. I don't even really know how to think about that. If
I ain't got no mercy.
I had those charges.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, first of all, I'm pleading not guilty. I'm not taking no pleas at all. Like, you wouldn't even hear the word plea come out my mouth. Because if you get found guilty, where you gonna go?
Yo, man,
yeah, but I'm gonna holler at y'all, man. Y'all have a good demonstration. I got to move on.
Later on tonight, let me know if you got any cash apps, bro. That's all I'm saying. I appreciate you. I love you, my man. All right? You my brother.
Love you too, bro. You be safe out there.
All right, man.
Don't make me have to come to Denmark.
Hey, you might have to. You might have to. Hey, can I take some people up on this panel or what, man? Some of them, they good folks, so I'm only gonna let the good ones up.
All right, that's what's up. I got the roll. People calling on the other line.
All right, one.
All right, one.
All right, I'm gonna let if some of y'all want to get up on the panel, ask a couple questions, please show your, well, if I know you don't have to show your face, you know what I'm saying? But on the other hand, you know, I'm only looking for sensible people, but I want my family on here, you know, anybody else, David, Shaka, Andrea, anybody else that's, you know, and if I never seen you before, then please show your face. Acacia, Smoke Reloaded. I don't know if I know you, but you welcome. Also, just let me see your face for a second if you want to pop up. As a truck driver, DC and Philly, the worst 2 places. I feel you, bro. I feel you. I feel you on that one for real. Philly in the house. I mean, I know a lot. I know some Philly cats that was living down in DC, man. They're good peoples, man. Was rolling with some cats I know from uptown. One of my main homies. Yeah. Let me see. All right. If nobody want to get up on the panel, I'm going to be out. I want to thank everybody. Divine, Inspired, JTV. Also, if you want to come up, JTV, Texas, Bama. Yeah, 2024. You can come up too. Just let me see your face if I haven't seen it. Let me see who else here is. Donnie, yo, also you, bro. If you want to add on and just make a little commentary, you're welcome. Let me see here. PO needs to be removed from general, right? Yeah. In any case, that was my man, my homie X. He's one of my brothers, you know, and you know, what can I say? Family, basically. You know, I rapped to him sometimes when he was in the pen also. He let me know how things was popping off back then and, you know, just doing what I could do, you know. And yeah, but he's out and he's been out for a minute and everybody embraced him when he came back, you know, helped him get, you know, just make sure he have a warm welcome back into his hometown. And and he's doing very well. He's a good fellow, very knowledgeable brother. Yeah. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't like to talk about my peeps. I'd rather let them talk for themselves, especially my brothers. DC in the 80s, forget about it. Yeah, brother. I mean, what can I say? Nobody. I'm like, does it have to be said? Does it have to be said? I mean, I don't know. I mean, who was immune to the 80s and 90s in DC? If you was down there, who's immune to that? I wasn't immune. I'm from the east side. I'm from the Hill, but the Hill, like I said, it was called Capitol Kill, and the Hill is just on the border of all the major hubs, for real. All them cats you hear about in DC, they from the Hill basically, or right on the edge, all of them. Demencio, and Demencio, New York dude, he was up in Montana. That's just a little bit north, but it's just like a 5-minute ride up the road, for real, from where I'm from. Well, let me see. What did Enter the Christ say? The girl was so-called Latina. Oh, wow, he would have more issues. Now we would be race related. It could be, brother. It could be. And I don't know. Again, I have only been to jail and bailed out. I've never been convicted of a crime. My things when I was younger, I'm not going to talk about all of them, but the ones that I got arrested for are basically like, attacking somebody or breaking something, petty stuff like that. And I never really had any problem because I was always with my peeps. I'm a DJ, so wherever I DJ'd, I always had my own homies with me, doing different things and stuff like that. So I never had no issues. DC, when I was growing up, I got a lot of love. So I didn't really have to go. I didn't really have to do that. But I also wasn't scared because of the area where I come from. It's kind of like, why would you even want to go there? So let me see. Yeah. Okay, folks. I hope y'all appreciate it. Just wanted to bring something a little different because we heard from the lawyers. We heard from other people that, but now we get to hear from somebody that spent real time in state and federal pen that could tell us a little bit from that perspective. So I'm gonna be out. If nobody's coming up, I'm gonna be out, and I'm gonna check you guys out later on tonight. Peace, love.